What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another show. It's a little different this time. We have a little more melanin, a little more pigment in the skin on the other side of this. As you know, just a tad bit. Guys, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a busy couple weeks. As you can see, I'm amateur world champion. Fresh off the fight.
Let's go.
Just kidding. We're not going Hollywood over an amateur belt here.
Got the shades, got the belt, everything. I love it.
What's up, man? How you been? I haven't heard from you much. You got married. You had a lot of stuff going on. You kind of peek in right around fight time and then disappear off.
Pretty much. No. Beginning of June, I had my wedding, but the Indian style of things, we usually, make them go for 5-6 days. So we're usually busy with that. Then I had to celebrate it again with my in-laws who are on the other, part of the country. So we had to go out there and party over there. Then I had a bunch of other weddings and stuff to go to. And man, this UFC circus don't stop, right? It's every freaking week. You got to check in, you got to do your picks, you got to do your predictions, and get back to work. That's all it is. So life has been coming in the way recently, but I'm trying to stay on top of my picks, predictions, and bets for sure.
That's good. It's a good little peek in. I've actually been I've been pretty busy too. Look, I still got the little black eye.
You got the shiner.
I mark so badly. That's not even from a punch. We shot in for takedown at the same time and clashed heads, and I got a giant mouse on my eye.
Ouch.
So I didn't put out picks the week that I was cutting weight. Cutting weight and film study, they don't mix very well. And then I fought on Saturday and then immediately jumped on a plane and flew to Austria. So I've been limited on sleep, time, Wi-Fi. Just, it's been a rough couple weeks for me, and weirdly still doing decent. And I saw you had a lot of good stuff last week. And it's amazing you can pick such great stuff and make one mistake on, adding too many units or just one bad bet and end up sour.
Yeah, man, I hit on so many freaking underdogs on this past card. Even freaking Lauren Murphy at plus 180 I ended up cashing on. Even thought I was supposed to get that Jourdain ticket. I thought they messed up the decision there. But I probably would have swept my straight picks, but then my props messed me up. Herbert Burns couldn't wait till the third round to get finished by Bill Algeo. Ricky Simone, all of a finisher. A finisher all of a sudden. And then Salikov and Lee, I had that over 2.5. Maybe a little bit overzealous with that. Really thinking that Salikov could bring down the pace of Jing Liang, but good God, Lee was ready to go in there and scrap and take this man's head off as soon as he could. He eventually did it over that 1.5 mark, but unfortunately under 2.5, which ended up burning me there. But don't worry about me. I want to hear about you for 1 second. With you getting back into the cage and, shaking off this ring rust, no longer a former fighter. You are now an active fighter, a current fighter. First of all, I got 2 questions for you, and then we'll jump into the breakdowns and stuff. First, how did it feel to get back into the cage, into live action after so long from being off?
You know what? It was weird, man. It was weird. So I'll say this. The video is probably going to come out soon. I had such a horrible performance for me. I weirdly wasn't nervous, but I was seeing things too much. When I'm in sparring, I'm down to fucking throw down. Like, let's go at it. I'm gritty. Like, fuck, that's the style. And then this fight, he's throwing punches, and I'm like, okay, well, he's not hitting me, and I'm getting out of the way, and he's not hitting me, but I'm not throwing anything back. And it was the worst possible performance that I could have had, and I still got the win. So in this kid's hometown, undefeated, Tapology is number 1 in every department. So over 3 years off, man, I started working. I gained a lot of weight. I got up to about 165 pounds. So to make not only to make flyweight, but they made us make championship weight. I weighed in at 124.7. That in itself, man, was the craziest shit of my life. I really never thought I could make the weight again. There's been a couple times I've tried to come back, and I'm like, man, this is really like, this is a grind. It's the dieting. And I'll tell you, man, I've been eating Wiener Schnitzel for a week, and I'm already back to 150. So
I love it. And secondly here, Are you going to remain active? Like, do you want to continue fighting? Do you want to go defend that title ASAP, or was this more so of a like a passion thing for you, where you just want to get into the cage, mix it back up, especially with you breaking down fights and stuff nowadays, seeing how involved you are with the fight game in that aspect? What is it? Are you going to continue fighting, or was this a one-off?
No, it's not a one-off, man. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was 14. I've given up birthdays. I've stayed home. I didn't like have fun in high school. I've never smoked a cigarette or done a drug in my life. Like, I've pretty much given up my whole life. My hand is, messed up for life. I've given up everything for the sport. And, I took some time off. I started making money, getting a job and COVID. And there's just a million different reasons that you can give. But, I just turned 26 last week.
Happy belated.
Thank you. I still have a long way to go. So next up will be pro debut. I mean, Santino said I still need to get stronger and, fix a couple things, but I think a lot of that's just getting back into the cage after 3 years that can be fixed pretty easily. And I know where I stack up against UFC guys, but train with them all day, every day. So no, it's time to go pro. I've got 10 amateur fights. So we're going to make a run at this thing.
And you taking down flyweight? I know you just said that it was a pretty tough cut. Are you willing to continue to make those cuts when you go pro?
You know what's really weird is actually this was not that bad of a cut. Just in general, like when you're used to, eating 2 meals and appetizers and dessert. So just to go from that to cutting it down to like, hey, let's be a responsible fucking human being and eat like a normal portion. That's just tough. It just sucks. It's like, I have the money to buy all the food that I want, and now I have to not do that. So it really is just discipline. Weirdly enough, this was the best cut I have ever had, other than when I used to weigh like 130 pounds. That was an easy cut for me. But man, my body has grown a ton, and I made this cut way easier. The rehydration was way easier. I felt awesome. Yeah, I can make it. It will take me time. Like doing a week notice or 2 week notice won't happen. I'll have to. I'm 5'7". I'm a big flyweight, so.
Sick. I love to hear. Once again, congrats on the title win there. Getting gold is always great for your confidence. Can't wait to see how you parlay it into the rest of your fighting future now. And you got a whole community pretty much behind you as well. So yeah, man, I'm excited. Congrats. And once again, happy belated birthday as well, bro.
Thanks. Hey, that was no extra pressure, right? You lose that fight. It was a split decision. You lose that fight. Everyone's like, you're a fucking fraud. You're a fraud. Not only do you suck at bets, you suck at fighting. So,
Unsubscribe.
Yeah. I had to dig deep on that one. I was thinking about some idiot in the comments. But
screw him. It's all good.
All right. Let's get into this one. We got a lot of fights. We got a lot of fights ahead. And I like your format, man. You always host these well. So if you want to fit into what we're doing, we can switch off. Interchange them kind of as we go along.
Yeah. You can. You take the steering wheel here. Let me know what fight you want to go over, and we'll dig into it.
All right, let's start. We always go bottom to top. That's my favorite way. That's how I study film. So the very first fight is Nicolas Dalby versus Claudio Silva. I thought I really wanted a dog shot here. When I was first looking at this, I remember Dalby looking so horrible, being old, just a lot of stuff not to like. And I actually remember Claudio Silva being the complete opposite. I'm like, yeah, he's old and fat, but man, this guy fucking fights. After watching 3 minutes of film, I'm the complete opposite on this one now. Man, Claudio's he doesn't have a well-rounded game. He's submitting guys that deserve to be submitted, that are not high level, that are not top caliber. He's got bad cardio. He's older. He's slower. He takes sloppy shots, sloppy wrestling. Dalby, for as weird as his last performance was, he almost had that Diakiese Duplessis effect where he was breathing crazy heavy, but still fighting weirdly hard. And it was hard for me to gauge that. Like, does this guy have horrible cardio, or is he decent and just he's breathing like this on purpose? But I really think this is a pretty linear fight. It's stick and move for Dalby. It's probably going to catch Claudio a few times on the chin. I mean, it's going to be probably a repeat of what we saw in the James Krause fight. I think Krause is a lot better than Dalby is, but the recipe is pretty simple. You're going to fly the Brazilian to London to fight in the guy's backyard. I think this is probably one of the better spots on the card is Dalby. Stick move, probably a KO.
I see where you're coming from, and I do agree. It's tough to find an argument to actually back Claudio Silva. I still feel kind of lucky to have cashed him against Danny Roberts, 3 years ago, where he like got that non-tap essentially from him from the armbar. But hey, I'll take the cash there. I remember there was a lot of people kind of, that fight was like the talk of the town that week. Last week it was Jacoby versus Jung. That week it was Claudio Silva against Danny Roberts, and I was happy to come out on the winning end there. But yeah, you're right, man. Horrible cardio. His striking is pretty much like the Hani Yahya style of striking.
I love it.
Just throw
I
everything
love
into your strikes, right? Just go out there, throw as much as you can into your strikes. At best, you'll be able to knock that opponent down, fall them to the ground, and get your jiu-jitsu going. At worst, you close the distance close enough to get to your opponent, try to drag them to the ground. But unfortunately for Claudio Silva, not the greatest takedowns, right? Like that's very difficult for him to complete. I'm just not fully on board with the Nicolas Dalby train. He's one of those guys that, as my guy Dan Levy from Best Fight Picks likes to put it, he's one of those guys that likes to post stunts. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow ends up on his back here with Claudio Silva on top, possibly searching for a rear naked choke, right? I know Dalby got RNC'd by my guy Jesse Ronson a couple fights ago, overturned, but it also did come off a club and sub situation, which isn't out of the realm of possibility here for the first round and a half or so for Claudio Silva. He could potentially land on that chin of Dalby, fall him to the ground, come up with a sub, which is why I'm, not the hottest on Dalby here at minus 250. Give me closer to minus 150, minus 160-ish. I'd be a little bit more enthused to take him. As you're right, pretty simple game plan here. Stick and move. Just stay as far away from him as possible. You have good enough takedown defense that you could likely keep this standing, but I don't know, man. Something about Dalby just nowadays just doesn't sit well with me. So passive a fight for me. Prediction is Dalby, though. He should get this done.
My initial thoughts were the same as yours on this one. Every card has themes. I think the theme on this card is the one-trick pony versus we know what the one trick is. I mean, if you look at half these fights, it's one guy that does one thing really, really well versus, okay, can this other guy stay away from it and exploit that? So I'm with you, the same thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, this is the theme on this card. So I think we're both on Dalby there. All right, what do we got next? Next up, we have Mandy Bohm versus Victoria Leonardo. What do you got on this one?
I don't know why first thoughts for me were, let me go out there and hammer Mandy Bohm. I thought that she'd be able to kind of, replicate what Melissa Gatto was successful with against Victoria Leonardo in her last fight. Just pick her apart from the outside, right? Be the faster fighter, be the faster one to the striking. But after running the tape, I'm just not 100% sure she'll be able to get away with that. Like Leonardo, I don't think she's the most skilled fighter out there, but she does have that kind of, outside of the Melissa Gatto fight, she has that dog in her. She has that willingness to kind of just fight through some adversity and try to, close a pocket, crash the distance, and really just either drag fights to the ground or make them dirty. And I feel like Mandy will struggle with that here against Victoria. I think she'll struggle in terms of keeping her at distance. I don't think her strikes are going to be as effective as Melissa was last time against Victoria. I'm seeing the money come in on Victoria, and honestly, I understand it now. Like, I get why she's coming down from a plus 130 to about plus 110. I think she can make it grimy. I think she can make it dirty. I just don't think that Bohm has that snap or that power or that sting to her strikes that other strikers of her caliber bring to the UFC. The Ariane Lipski fight, not the greatest look, but like we know that Lipski's kind of Achilles heel in the UFC has been people that have been able to take her to the ground and mess her up there. Bohm just couldn't even get it there. We saw a great a sprawl from Ariane Lipski early in that fight, and Mandy Bohm's like, oh, I'm likely not getting this woman down, so let's just try to strike with her. And, she got lit up on the feet and the clinch and all that. So not a good look for her in her UFC debut, but here against Leonardo, she doesn't have to worry too much about the power or the sting coming from the shots of Leonardo either. But I do think that the grittiness and the ability to mix it up, clinch, takedowns, all that, I think Leonardo will likely grind this fight out. So give me the underdog here in this first women's MMA fight.
I love it. We talk about, like I saw on Twitter, someone was like, I don't want to make bets that I'm going to regret the next day when I open up my account. And I think either way you go on this, if you lose, you're going to regret it either direction. I mean, both these are not great fighters. But man, I can't get behind the Victoria Leonardo train. And the more money that comes in on her, the happier I'm going to be. And really it comes down to this. Okay. I think maybe a good comp to her would that people are kind of thinking that she is in their mind is like maybe a Mallory Martin, right? Tough as fuck, never stops coming forward. I'm swinging bombs. I'm just dog tough. Maybe not the sharpest, but I'm going to bite down and keep coming forward. And the only reason I'm really thinking Mallory is because she was supposed to fight this week. But just kind of that dog, I'm coming forward, not stopping. The problem is that she does stop coming forward, and she has bad cardio. She gasses herself out, and she really never extends on punches. That combined with the fact that she's the least athletic human being on planet Earth that is employed by the UFC, she just short arms her punches. You know, if she was able to bite down and she was like a Marc-Andre Barriault, where she just crazy cardio, I'm going to grind you. I may get beat up for a little bit, but round 2 and 3, I'll put a stamp on it. I could understand this because Bohm looks weak and you can tell that she tires, you know, in a tough fight. The one thing I do like about Mandy Bohm, first, decent enough takedowns. You're right. It was tough against Lipsky, but Lipsky's a little bit taller. In women's MMA, the taller girl already has an advantage. Girls cannot chain wrestle and they cannot cage wrestle. So you get one good sprawl in the open and you get a tall girl. I mean, it's really hard to take somebody down. And Ariane Lipsky is actually a legitimate, very good striker. So you can't take her down. Now you have to strike with her. I mean, you know, that's a really tough fight to come into the UFC, you know, for Mandy Bohm. Actually, weirdly enough, I think the best comp to this fight that's coming up was Mandy Bohm's last fight, the one in Bellator. Who was that against? Greet Eekhout. Oh, man, I should be better at saying that coming back from Austria. That girl, I think, is about the same height as Victoria Leonardo. Honestly, about the same skill set. And what really impressed me about Mandy Bohm was the knees and the clinch. She has a very good knee and clinch game. And I think she's going to be able to make this dirty enough. The one thing I do like about Leonardo was her ability to come up on top. I actually think that's where she's the best, is in the grappling exchanges. But on the feet, man, she has some bad body language. She gasses out and she shows it. She backs up a lot. Either way, I don't you know, we're each going to take a different side on this one. I think neither of us are going to look super smart if we get it right, and neither of us are going to look super dumb if we don't get this right. I mean, this is not a great fight, not a high level fight. Don't pretend you're some brilliant guy because you called a 50-50 coin toss. You know what I mean? But I like Bohm here.
I wouldn't even be surprised, honestly, if this fight ended up being a pick-em come fight night, considering how much
probably should be
is coming in on the Victoria here, right? Yeah, exactly. And at that point, like, if you can still get plus money on one side, I think it probably is the better side. But, well, you know, a losing ticket isn't necessarily value, right? That's what a lot of people say.
That's what I say.
Hey, that's a conversation for another day.
I'm too broke to afford value right now. I got to have winners only.
that Austria ticket was pricey. Right?
All right, what do we got next? We have
Jai Herbert against Kyle Nelson. I'll kick this one off if you want me to. Pretty easy. Pretty easy fight to break down, right? You got volume and technique against power, essentially. Like, I'm quite familiar with Kyle Nelson. He actually fought on one of the shows that I used to help run back in the day called Substance Cage Combat. And he actually fought a guy that was from the gym that I used to work at named Neelan Hordat. And I thought it was a close fight. I thought my guy actually deserved to win that fight. It was pretty much a striking battle back and forth. Thought the judges got it wrong, is what it is. Kyle Nelson eventually makes it to the UFC. The one thing that's pretty evident when you look through his record is that he has knockout power, right? That's pretty much all he has really going for him, because, you know, he has some decent jiu-jitsu, good power. He trains out of the same gym that Diana Belbita trains out of, House of Champions, over here near the Toronto area. Very good head coach, Crew Alin. He's actually the cup man for the UFC. Sometimes you'll notice him if you see him in the corner of Kyle Nelson this weekend, obviously. But I just think he's a one-dimensional striker, pretty much. Kind of what you were alluding to earlier in this podcast with Claudio Silva, right? This guy just needs to rely on his power, and we know Jai can be a hit, man. Jai can be hurt, and that's kind of what makes this fight dangerous in terms of taking the chalk on Jai Herbert here. Like, do you trust him to stay away from the big power of Kyle Nelson for about 2 rounds? Like, I know Kyle does start to gas a little bit, but do you think that he can actually do that? I think so, but I saw the KO prop on Kyle Nelson sitting at plus 600. Might have to take a little bit of a shot there because I think it's quite live in this spot. But if you can't find it, you know, this is one of those things where you're hoping it lands. If it doesn't land, he's likely going to get chewed up and possibly lose a decision here. So the prediction for me is going to be Jai Herbert. I have no intentions of betting him as a heavy favorite here, but he will likely look like the heavy favorite as long as he avoids the big bomb. So give me Jai, but maybe a sprinkle on Kyle Nelson by KO.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. You know, I'm in love with my Cage Warriors champions. I will die for Jai Herbert. Even when he fought Topuria, I said, guys, you know, everyone's calling him a lock and betting him at minus 700. I said, no. Hold on a minute. No, you're an idiot. You're a fucking retard and all this stuff. I said, Jai's good, man. I like Jai a lot. But that chin, that is a tough chin, man. That is a tough chin.
Yeah.
He's the glass cannon. He is so good everywhere. He's got a great stand-up game. He's tall. He's athletic. Man, his striking is very technical and pure. But that chin is just such a liability. And for some reason, I thought Kyle Nelson was somebody different. I thought he was the guy that Rafa Garcia just beat. I don't even know who that was, the steroids guy. But
Jesse Ronson.
Oh, was that Ronson? Okay.
You're getting your Canadians mixed up.
Yes.
You're getting your Canadians mixed up.
So this fight's a little different. I mean,
they all fight the same.
Yes. Kyle Nelson actually swings really hard. So really hard swinger versus glass chin. I think you're dead on. That's like a great hedge. If you want to take Jai money line and play that big because he's in his backyard, this is a fight teed up for him. I mean, man, they could have cut him 3 fights ago if they wanted to. I mean, he's lost so many times in the UFC. They're putting him, you know, they're rewarding him with a fight in his backyard. He's the better fighter by a mile. You know, Jai, I think, is the easy play here, and great hedge with Kyle Nelson by KO. I don't really see it going a different way. I think the best play, the safest play, parlay piece would probably be fight doesn't go the distance. I mean, neither of these guys are, you know, going to decision all the time. So one way or the other, someone's out of there, I think. But I like Jai.
Fight doesn't go to decision, currently around minus 250-ish. I can see that. My only concern is if he can't get Kyle Nelson out of there, right? Billy Q was able to get him out of there because he just overwhelmed him with volume pressure, like Billy Q style. Can Jai Herbert kind of do the same thing here? Possibly, right? He has the volume to do it, but I don't know. It's a little bit sketchy to me, but I would love to see the Kyle Nelson KO cash, especially in Jai's hometown. That would be so sweet as a Canadian.
I love me some Jai. All right. All righty. What do we got next? We have Muhammad Mokaev versus Charles Johnson. All right, I'll kick this one off.
Fire coming. Fire.
Well, you know what? Listen, I got a big nose, but it's a fake dag sniffer. It's a fake dag sniffer. People are talking about the wrong fraud on this card. So Muhammad Mokaev, I think he's good. Man, he's had a million amateur fights. He fought an IMAF a million times. I fought an IMAF. I know what IMAF is about. Born in Dagestan, grew up in London. Okay, so he's from the mean streets of London. The big thing, and this is the really common misconception about Mokaev, people think Mokaev wrestles like a Dagestani. He doesn't wrestle like a Dagestani at all. He wrestles like a folk style American wrestler. He shoots double legs on his knees, and he comes up and wrestles and grinds. Now, he's a really good grinder. He is. He finds the back well. He does a lot of things well. His jiu-jitsu is really good, but he doesn't wrestle like a Dagestani, guys. He doesn't hang on you and maul you and beat you up and then, mat return. He doesn't wrestle like that. The one thing, and I think you can probably speak on this, the link for the Blaydes O'Driscoll fight on Tape Index does not work. Is that right?
It should work, actually. I have seen it myself. That was a very close fight from what I remember, but I'll take a look at it right now.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't work, better for me. I hope it doesn't work. Because we had to like bootleg that fight. It was Brave FC or whatever it was. We had to bootleg that thing.
Yeah, Brave is one of the tougher ones to find footage for. Brave and Cage Sport, those guys like lock up their tape behind paywalls or some shit. Barely even paywalls. Can't even be found sometimes. But continue, please.
Yeah, guys, that was a really tough fight. Now, let me not take anything away from Blaydes O'Driscoll. I've bet Blaydes O'Driscoll a ton of times. I know him super, super well. I think that kid is solid. He is a stud. He made Mokaev look horrible. I mean, if you were sitting there watching that fight, say that fight was in the UFC playing out the exact same way, you'd be telling all your buddies, guys, we need to max bet Blaydes O'Driscoll because, 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts down, Mokaev is dog shit tired. And you're going into round 2 going, oh my God, Driscoll's about to put it on him, right? He is exhausted. The fact that nobody can see this film makes me happy. It makes me thrilled because he's looked so dominant in every other fight, right? You have one guy that can scramble and wrestle well, and he gets a record of 5-0. Awesome. The first time that he fights any legitimate competition, man, he looks vulnerable. And, you know, the way he got out of that fight was he kind of fell into a rear naked choke, like stumbled upon it, like pure luck. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies where he shoots the ground and finds oil, like straight up fell on that rear naked choke and ended up winning that fight. So good for him. Now he's fighting the tallest flyweight I've ever seen in my life, a guy who's got great striking, all the talent in the world, LFA champion, has beat a ton of great guys. Man, you want to talk about value, guys. Please, you want to talk about value, you better unload your fucking house on this one. Charles Johnson, who legitimately has all the skills in the world, against a guy who wrestles like a folk style American wrestler. Come on, guys. This is value. Charles Johnson will fight for your money. My only problem with Charles Johnson is he's a little bit arrogant. He knows how good he is, so he'll drop his hands and get dropped. He'll give up a takedown thinking, he can do something different. He's a little arrogant and makes little mistakes, which could cost him. But man, if this gets out of round one, Charles Johnson's cardio, his striking, his speed, his athleticism, he checks every single box here. I mean, you guys want to get mad at people for parlaying big, heavy favorites. It makes me want to throw up to parlay Mokaev here. I'm really sad we didn't get to see the Durden fight play out a little bit more so you guys could see what I'm talking about. Because Durden is a tough-ass wrestler. If he doesn't get flying knee, we're in a close fight there. And I think Mokaev still wins that, but it's close. Value, guys, I think Charles Johnson wins this. Straight up, I think Charles Johnson wins this fight.
I love it. I wasn't actually expecting that kind of fire for this breakdown, but I agree, man. I really agree. I do think that Charles Johnson at plus, what is he now? Plus 320.
Don't you fix that link either. Don't you fix that link.
Plus 370. Yeah. So I actually look back here. The link is not working. You're correct. It's because bravecf.tv sometimes they keep switching out which events they have on there. And since this event is no longer on there, you just get sent to an error page there. So yeah, no, that Blaydes O'Driscoll fight, I remember tape studying it before the Cody Durden fight, and yeah, it was sketchy because of the type of fighter Blaydes O'Driscoll was. Great scrambler, could go takedown for takedown against Mokaev, and that's what Durden probably was going to be able to provide as well had he not gotten submitted so quickly. We might be able to see the same thing here from Charles. Maybe not, he's a solid defensive grappler. His wrestling is decent, maybe not to the level of Mokaev, but I still do think that he'll be able to keep it standing long enough for him to impose his advantage, which is the striking. I think he's the better striker, better kicker. Mokaev is still trying to round out that part of his game because he's going to need all those tools, especially if he wants to make a run in that top 15. But on the regional scene, he can get away with just his wrestling and being able to grind guys out in that aspect. But now that he's taken levels up in competition and steps up in competition, it's going to get harder to do. I think Charles Johnson is definitely the side in this fight. Plus 370 is crazy. I was looking up, I forgot what it was, but I saw a perfect comparison for Charles Johnson. You almost nailed it, right? He has a lot of swagger. Sometimes he gives up positions or something. Sometimes he keeps his hands down. Somebody said that he's pretty much Bobby Green with kicks. And I kind of get it. You know what I mean? The guy has slick hands. The guy's fast with his boxing. He mixes in his kicks and his knees very well. Yeah, no, I don't know how to put it any better than you did, man. I think Charles Johnson is a side. I'm likely going to have a bet on him here. And the fact that the line continues to get better,
let's keep waiting,
man. Get in at plus 370 and
do you remember what happened the last?
If you get a plus 400, add some.
Yeah, so you remember what happened the last London card? All the big favorites became insane favorites. So as we got closer, we need a little Twitter pump on Mokaev. Man, this guy's crazy, straight out of Dagestan.
Should we do a fake out?
A little pump and
dump. Do a fake out? Just tweet out hashtag Mokaev lock or some shit like that.
Pump and dump, man.
No, I love it. Charles Johnson, let's get it done for the culture, baby. Plus 370. That's a joke of a line if I ever seen one. That fight's going to play out way freaking closer to that. And not to mention, shout out to him for that big win against Carlos Mota.
Who is good. Who is really
amazing
good.
Fight. Finishes him in the 5th round. 6-0 Carlos Mota at the time. Yeah, man. I remember a lot of hype on that Mota kid, and I was actually tuning into that fight to watch Mota. And then I saw Charles Johnson. I'm like, oh shit, Charles is legit, man. This guy can actually fight. So yeah, man, very much excited for this fight and excited to see what Charles can bring to this UFC division, and what a great way it would be to spring a giant upset in his UFC debut. Me and you both think he can. hopefully we can cash tickets that say the same thing as well.
Dare I put a comma on this play? Dare I put a comma on this play? I feel so good about this play. Like, dare I put a comma on this play? And maybe even better after round one. You know, okay, Mokaev gets him down round one.
Yeah,
Woo.
Good live betting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, might get plus 500 or something at that point in time if you want to jump in on the live line too. But pre-fight, man, plus 370. Do you really want to wait for a live line?
Dude, I'll take this any which way. We're going to put a couple commas. Comma here, comma there, everywhere.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Alrighty. Up next, we have Makwan Amirkhani versus JSP Jonathan Pearce. You want to kick this one off?
Yeah, I won't keep it too long, obviously, because you know this guy JSP pretty well. So
I just met him last week for the first time.
Oh yeah, shit. Well, you know him is what I'm saying. You know the ins and outs of what you're getting with Jonathan Pearce for sure. Obviously, fellow Santino DeFranco going to be in his corner come Saturday. But solid fight for him here, man. Makwan's always been a guy that's relied heavily on his ability to out-grapple opponents and use his slick Dar/Anaconda series to lock up his opponents and get the dub, just as he did last time around against Mike Grundy. But man, I'd be surprised if Jonathan Pearce gets caught in something like that. I know people continue to shit on Jonathan Pearce because of that Joe Lozon performance in his UFC debut. I think he's more than made up for it from his performances past that fight. I think that was just a slip up. UFC debut in the backyard of a UFC legend like Joe Lozon. You might stumble, you might trip up, and that's exactly what happened with JSP that night. But here, man, I think he's the better overall grappler in terms of being able to sustain the wrestling. I think his submission defense is good enough to stay away from that Anaconda Dar series on the feet. I think he's the better striker. I think people might be slightly low on him because of the performance against Christian Rodriguez last time around. But man, Rodriguez is a fighter, man. That kid is good. And from what I heard, he's actually training down with either the Fight Ready or the Siege guys now.
No las dos.
That kid's legit. I can't. There you go. I can't wait to see what he gets matched up in his next UFC fight at his proper weight class, because that guy's going to be a top 15er, no doubt about it. And GSP, he got pushed a little bit further to the brink than people were expecting. I don't think he's going to have that much issue here against Makwan. As long as he can stay away from the submissions, he should be able to outstrike him. He should be able to dictate where this fight goes. Minus 200. Not too bad of a line either. I don't mind that, honestly. What are your thoughts here? I'd be surprised if you pick against GSP, but please
let me give inside info. Here. So you're 100% right. C-Rod, the last time when those two were paired up, right? It was a last-minute fight. Man, I couldn't hear anybody say anything other than JSP is going to finish him round one. It's going to be the easiest fight ever. And I said, you guys don't know C-Rod. Man, I know C-Rod really well. This was before I knew him, met him, anything. C-Rod moved to Arizona, and he's been, I was his taxi for like a week straight, just taking him to Siege, to Fight Ready, hanging out with him every day, training with him every day. C-Rod is fucking good. You guys don't understand. C-Rod is good. He's fat, but he's good. He's real fat, like real fat, like immovable object fat, but he's very good. He's got incredible hips. He's got great striking. He hits like a Mack truck. He's good, man. So for you guys to be down on the JSP performance in that fight, perfect. It gives us a better line for a guy who's got horrible cardio, horrible striking. He's submitting guys like Danny Henry and, Chris Fishgold, who's not in the UFC. Jason Knight, he won a split decision, who's fighting bare knuckle now, right? The Grundy one makes me upset because watching the Grundy fight, it's not a very long fight. If you showed me the opening sequence and the entry into that submission, and you put a gun to my head and say, does he finish this choke? No. And I could say that confidently. No, his head's going to pop right on out. And Grundy just hung in there, and got put to sleep. It was maddening. JSP is a hillbilly. He ain't that guy. He is up and out. I'll tell you this. I've trained with a lot of people in my time. The only person to ever really darce and anaconda me is Santino DeFranco and Kamwela Kirk. Ironically, Kamwela Kirk beat Makwan Amirkhani. Wow. And who do you think's training with JSP every single day? Yeah, Santino and Kamwela. And even me. So I told you I just kind of met JSP for the first time, and Santino said, hey, I want you to choke his lights out. I have a pretty good anaconda too. I can grapple my ass off. Man, it is tough to choke that guy. It really is tough to choke that guy. He is a demon. This fight is pretty linear, guys. I think it's really linear. You could just... To be really safe, you bet Makwan by submission, and then you can run that JSP money line as far as you want. I think the fight's real linear. JSP by a country mile. Should he not get submitted, right? I mean, pretty easy there.
Question for you: when you guys are like preparing for a guy like this, and Santino's like, "Okay, go choke this guy out." Like, do you get into a jiu-jitsu kind of position, or do you kind of like start in a Darce choke position and see if he can fight his way out? Like, how do you guys?
When I was working in with him the other day, it was kind of like my last like little move around day before I had to start my weight cut. Started in a full Darce choke. Camuela with his long arms, who's one of the best Darce chokers I've ever seen. And then me with my short arms, so everything is tight and compact. He was having us start in full locked on Darces. Not only that, as we worked nothing but Darce and Anaconda defense with Camuela. So it was super easy to just transfer this right along. So, man, I love JSP here. The only knock I have on him, honestly, is his coaching. Other than that, everything else is pretty solid.
Oh man, I hope we can clip that and send it to our guy Santino.
Guess he doesn't know.
We can move on. We can move on.
What do we have next? We have Mr. Nathaniel Wood versus the GOAT Charles Rosa. Go ahead on this one.
The GOAT. I can't wait to hear the backstory behind.
Well, he's number 2 to Kyle Bochniak.
But anyway, touche. Yeah, pretty straightforward fight here again, right? It's funny, like every single time we see Nathaniel Wood's name on the docket, the guy always has like a -300, -400 price tag. Like he's always going to be that guy, unless he's facing like a Casey Kenya or somebody of that level. But like you're giving him another guy here in Charles Rosa that should be able to beat pretty much anywhere he wants, right? Charles Rosa, he might not deal with as much of a grappling disadvantage in this fight in terms of like, Nathaniel Wood looking to drag this to the ground and kind of just grind him out the way TJ Brown and other guys have been able to do against Charles Rosa. That's the clear blueprint to beat Charles, right? Drag him to the ground. The guy's too comfortable off of his back. Sometimes he'll throw up submissions, but more often than not, you're going to be able to get out of them. Nathaniel Wood's a better striker. Charles Rosa, he needs to. I don't know how he wins this fight. Like I'm really trying to think. Like, is he going to try to get this fight to the ground and just try to win from top position? His takedown game really isn't that good. His striking game is whatever. Like one thing I always remember about Charles Rosa's game is when he's in his southpaw position, he takes upon that one-to-ball style of striking where he gets into his karate style. But then when he gets back into orthodox, really more boxing and kickboxing oriented with his style of striking there. But I think Nathaniel Wood beats him pretty much both spots. Like the only way we've seen like Nathaniel Wood lose is outside of the Casey Kennedy fight, the John Dodson fight, right? Like he gets knocked out. Does Charles Rosa have knockout power? I don't think so. Does he have the better jiu-jitsu? Maybe he's I know he's a black belt. I'm not 100% sure if Nathaniel Wood is, but like on paper, sure, he might be the better jiu-jitsu player, but come live action, I don't think it's going to matter at all. So I like Wood here. I think he wins pretty much anyway. Striking, grappling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, whatever it is Nathaniel Wood can do, I think he wins here. -500 is always a tough price tag to pay. But I feel comfortable enough with that.
Easiest tee-up fight in the world, right? I mean, you have weirdly like Charles Rosa has so many wins against like really good guys, but he's skill-wise, like I don't want to be disrespectful, but he's not making a run at the title anytime soon. I mean, he makes a lot of mistakes and he's not that good, but kind of hangs around in there. My big concern here, my only concern, is getting big brothered. Nathaniel Wood's listed at 5'6". Why the hell is he fighting featherweight? I know the pictures came out when he was supposed to fight at 35 against Vince Morales, and I mean, man, he looked sick. He just looked insane, like veins in his abs, like he looked disgusting. But he's 5'6". Keep in mind, guys, I got decent muscles on me. I don't have a big chest. My legs are fine. I'm 5'7", and I fight 20 pounds less than Nathaniel's fighting this weekend. I would be an inch taller than Nathaniel. And I don't think our builds are crazy different. Now he's fighting 145. You know who else fights 145 is Camuela, and he would beat the shit out of me. I mean, it's such a big size difference. He's fast. His striking is excellent. He makes every right decision. I mean, he is the kind of fighter that you want to bet on. He's like my Dustin Jacoby last week or Mason Jones. Like he is the kind of fighter, checks every single box, fight IQ, cardio, and it'll only get better now that he's up a weight class. He's got a teed up matchup fighting an old guy. I mean, this is the ultimate. Don't overthink it. But like you're right. How does Charles win this fight? But Nathaniel's just so freaking small, man, compared to Charles, who's a decent size 45er. You know, as good as Demetrius Johnson was when he was fighting Dominic Cruz, Dominic said, fuck that. I'm going to big brother you. I don't care if you're better than me. And he big brothered him. So that is the only ounce of concern that I have. But really, it's a tee up spot for Nathaniel Wood here. And don't get crazy on the props on this one, I think, because Charles Rosa is durable. He will play guard. He will do a lot of things that keeps him in the fight. You know, this is a parlay card, I believe. I think there's a lot of great spots that you can parlay here, and Nathaniel, I think, is a pretty decent spot.
It is head scratching that, you know, Charles Rosa has the wins that he has inside the UFC, right? That the Manny Bermudez one is the most head scratching one to me, because I thought Manny Bermudez was the goddamn truth, the only guy that could not make weight but still go out there and, you know, snap your arm in half. The Kevin Aguilar fight, you know, I thought Kevin probably should have won that fight. I'll admit this: I made Charles Rosa a lock of the night play against Justin James, because that's what I think of Justin James. I mean, we know what skill set we're getting with both guys, and Justin still made it close. I mean, that was a close freaking fight. You know, Charles made me sweat still. I still managed to cash my ticket that night, but good God. Like,
okay, we're good
Charles,
here. I mean,
come on.
Justin James is what, 5'4". I mean, he's tiny. He's an okay wrestler, and he's not that good of a striker. So, you know what? Do you saying that? All right, guys, hammer Nathaniel Wood with everything you have. Good point.
There you go. Nathaniel Wood all day. Minus 500. Hashtag value.
Yeah, minus 1,000 would be value on that one. All right. Next up, we got Marc. Okay, how do I say this name before I kill it? Diakiese?
Diakiese.
Okay. Marc Diakiese versus Damir.
There you go.
Hadzovic. You know what? Everybody I was with in Austria is all Bosnian. What they told me is that Austrians don't do jiu-jitsu. They're too peaceful of people. So they're all like hardened Bosnians that grew up in Austria, but they're Bosnian. They love to fight. And that's the only people who do jiu-jitsu in Austria, at least.
Watching Damir's striking style, you kind of get it.
All right, I'll kick this one off. I think this is another spot. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people say this is the biggest lock on the whole card. I'm seeing everybody include this in their locks, and I understand why. I mean, I wouldn't put this as the biggest one on the card, you know, by any means. I've been the #1 Damir defender for a long, long time. I thought that was one of my sharper plays, was picking him against Yancey. Especially you look at, you know, what Yancey's been doing in Bellator, beating, you know, Sanchez and decent guys, and he's looked great doing it. At the end of the day, he's 35 years old. He's slow as hell. He can't wrestle to save his life. His cardio, I mean, do you think he has bad cardio?
It's not horrible. We've definitely seen worse. Like, it's enough that he doesn't die in the cage, and like, you know, we're not gonna run to the window to bet Marc Diakiese round 3.
Yeah, and like
it's not that bad.
The commentators were making a big ado about his cardio, but man, he landed 60 punches in the first round. Like, we say this about Fiziev, I say this all the time. He's got insane cardio. His cardio is out of this world for how he fights. I mean, putting everything into every punch. Conor McGregor does that and gets tired in 2.5 minutes. So for how he fights, his cardio is like, what the hell? I mean, imagine him fighting a really slow pace. Diakiese, I mean, man, that guy moves well. He's an ultra super athlete. His wrestling, I don't think is the greatest, but his scrambling is really, really good. You know, he's not this beautiful D1 wrestler in on blast doubles, but he does a great job of finding the back. Then he goes body locks, uses his athleticism. I mean, this is a gimme spot if you ever found one. He's just crisper, sharper on the feet. If he gets in trouble, he's got the wrestling. I think he's got the cardio advantage. I'm really lucky that Slava fight wasn't Marc's first fight in the UFC, because if I watched that fight, I would just be screaming, man, he can't keep that pace forever. I mean, he's gonna gas out in his neck. I would have lost everything on his second fight in the UFC. But man, what a performance that was. His wrestling looked insane. I mean, I think he's the easy side here.
It's hilarious the what have you done lately nature of betting, right? Like Marc Diakiese, how big of an underdog was he to Slava? You know, I know a lot of money came on in him closer to the fight, but like, I think the opener was pretty wide. And now here he is, minus 300 after putting on a Magomedov-esque performance, right? Like, it just goes.
You know, what side were you on that one? Santino and I, we called that one from a mile away. We said, you know, Slava can't wrestle.
I didn't bet that fight. I'm trying to remember my prediction. I think my prediction may have been Slava, but I don't recall. I'll have to pull it back up. But yeah, no, great performance from him last time around. I don't think people should go out there expecting him to do the same thing here against Hadzovic.
That's what worries me.
He might look to, yeah, but like even his striking, I think it's good enough to hang. Like one thing that used to be pretty ingrained in Marc Diakiese's game during that little run that he was on before he ran into Fiziev was the calf kicking game. And I wouldn't be surprised if he looks to go back to that here against Hadzovic, who kind of has like that lengthy stance where he leaves that foot out to be chopped. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Marc Diakiese go back to that, start with the calf kicks, work his hands into there, maybe get some grappling to kind of keep Hadzovic on his feet and his tippy toes. But like the only thing that messes with me a little bit, Hadzovic throws with heat. Like, and he throws with heat more often than not. And he could clip Diakiese with one of those for sure. Like, he definitely has the range to do so. He definitely has the firepower to do so. That's what has me a little bit skeptical about it. But I do agree with you. I do pretty much like Diakiese to pretty much win this fight how he wants. He can go out there, grapple. He could strike with him as well. I think he's a faster fighter of the two. I think he has the better grappling as well. As long as he doesn't get clipped with anything stupid, he should win this fight pretty handily. So I understand the line on him. I don't mind parlaying him either, but I like Diakiese to get this done.
Just really quick from a technical aspect, this was one thing that I noticed. When he fought Moicano, he threw one kick up the middle and nothing else after that. When he fought Yancy Medeiros, now the threat of takedown, not really there with Yancy. No kicks at all. No kicks at all. And when you have somebody who's shown an ability to wrestle like Marc did in his previous fight, you have to get them thinking something in the way of like, hey, I shouldn't enter, for free. You got to show a knee, a kick up the middle, and uppercuts, something. And Damir just doesn't do that. Everything is winging, wild punches, makes it really easy for the level change. Weirdly, this fight reminds me, and I hate to say this because he's one of my favorite fighters, but this is like a Chidi Njokuani versus Mab. This is athleticism, speed, precision versus kind of like a barreling in, slow, work rate. And I think the athleticism, the age, the hometown, I think that's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I do like the bone crusher side here, but it's just crazy that, we have so many heavy favorites on this card. Like it's just
like last time in London
to me, but yeah, exactly. You just got to pick and choose your spots properly here. And seems like more often than not, the chalk's going to get it done, but some of them a little bit flaky, man. Like the Nicolas Dalby, the Nathaniel Wood a little bit, right? The big brothering narrative that you brought into it. I think that's pretty accurate. Jai Herbert, glass jaw, glass chin, glass cannon kind of style. So pick and choose your spots. Don't just parlay all of them. One of them is going to eventually shit the bed, and you don't want to get caught with one of those guys on your tickets.
This next one, okay, I don't know if you've heard about me, but like when I have a big bet, I get these like weird dreams at night, and every time I have one, the person loses 100%. It has never lost one time. No. It is always lost.
No.
And this guy is one of my favorite fighters, and I think this is the guy that ruins everything, and he shouldn't. He's very, very good. So next up, we have Ludovit Klein versus Mason Jones. Do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, I'm a big Mason Jones fan, man. It's been a while though since we saw him inside the cage. Obviously, he had that crazy war against David Onama in Onama's UFC debut. That was October of last year. This is actually going to be, what is that? 9 months exact to the date since the last time we saw him on the actually fight. But great performance there. Great performance against Alan Patrick before he eye poked him, and Patrick just never wanted to fight him ever since then. The Mike Davis fight was freaking phenomenal, right? To talk about rising your stock even in a loss. That was pretty much what Mason Jones was able to do there after suffering his first professional career loss. But I feel like he is the side here, right? I get like in terms of the line, people might not be all hype and happy about betting a minus 320, but like Klein has a left straight down the middle and a left head kick. That's really about it. Doesn't really throw in combinations. He's always looking to take your head off. We saw him use his clinch and his strength a lot in his last fight to get that dub, grinding out that dub against let me get the name off my head. Devontae Smith. Yeah. He just grinded him up against the cage. I think he got close to 6 minutes of control time there, pretty much just backing up Devontae Smith after throwing some big strikes and then clinching up with him and pushing him up against the cage. I think Jones can stay away from the clinch. I think he can kind of, dig his underhooks and turn position and get back into free space where he's going to be able to get his output going. And as long as he doesn't get clipped by anything by Klein here, I think he could pretty much just beat him on numbers and maybe even drown him, similar to what Nate Landwehr was able to do a couple fights ago against Klein. So I wouldn't even be surprised to see a late finish from Mason Jones here. The under 2.5 -130 looks a little intriguing to me. I think we might even need those extra 2.5 minutes at the ending of the fight because Mason Jones can really come alive and start putting it on Klein later in this fight. Fight doesn't go to decision, only on 5 dimes right now, available at -180. I don't mind that line, right? Because that's the one losing condition for Mason Jones as well. Klein's not winning a decision here. I'd be surprised if Klein wins a decision here, given how active and how much output that we see usually from Mason Jones. But sometimes he leaves himself open to get hit. Klein has the power to end people's nights. That does scare me a little bit, right? Like we saw his chin ironclad against Mike Davis. We saw it ironclad against David Onama. It's just going to be one of these fights where it eventually cracks and it's not there anymore. So for that reason alone and how much power Ludovit Klein carries and the hitability of Mason Jones, this fight's a pass for me, but I do lean with the Mason Jones side in terms of prediction. I might even bet the fight doesn't go to decision, honestly. If it stays below -200-ish, I'll likely take a shot there. But Jones will be the play. Very sketchy. What are your thoughts here?
That is 100% my thoughts, and that's
sick.
Mason Jones is one of my favorite fighters. I mean, guys, I was talking about Nathaniel Wood checking all the boxes. Mason Jones has a phenomenal jab. I mean, the best jab in the business. He's excellent. His cardio, he checks every freaking box. He is willing to hang out in the pocket, wear you down. He is just a gritty, grimy fighter. He is one of my favorites. He couldn't have a better matchup, right? He's fighting 5'7" Ludovit Klein at 155 pounds. He's moving up. Ludovit's got cardio problems. At least at 45, he did. 55, he looked phenomenal. He looked great in that performance. And even in the Devontae Smith fight, Devontae is not comfortable in the pocket. He has to be separated to look pretty and beautiful and have this boxing. His grappling is not amazing. I mean, it was a great fight for Ludovit. I actually picked Ludovit in that fight, and everyone's like, you're an idiot. You're so stupid. I don't see it that way in this one. I mean, I love Mason Jones. The one thing I always like to see when you have opposite stance fighters is how they fight opposite stance fighters. The Mike Davis is orthodox. Everybody that he's fought tough has all been orthodox. The only guy that he's fought that's southpaw as of recent was Alan Patrick. Alan Patrick, he's so unconventional. The tape was almost nothing for that. I mean, it was almost useless because this guy's just throwing spinning wheel kicks and random shit that, it's not going to be Ludovit, who's very clean and precise. I just have a weird gut feeling like that Mason's going to get chinned on this one. But he checks every freaking box. He actually did stuff really, really well. The thing that I really liked was he threw the body kicks. You'll notice when Conor McGregor fought Chad Mendes, he was throwing we call them bunion kicks to the body. Boom, bunion. You hit with your, the side of your foot. Runs that cardio. He was throwing that against Allen a lot, which is a great strike against an opposite stance. Now you said Ludovit only has a left hand and the left high kick. Ironically, that's the only two things you really need, when you're fighting an opposite stance. The jab becomes ineffective, right? So really your main punch is going to be a check hook on either side, and then it's the twos and then the head kicks. So if you're talking about this guy, he's got the best two strikes you could have for an opposite stance. Mason controls range so well. The thing that really impresses me is he keeps everything in front of him. Very rarely does he overcommit. And that's a lot of times when people get knocked out is overcommitting, getting hit on the temple. That's lights out. He keeps everything in front of him. He doesn't make mistakes. I mean, Mason is that guy. I think I have no choice but to play him pretty big. But I'm just telling you guys, I have this weird gut feeling. Like, I don't know why. Like, I feel like he's just going to get chinned. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. I love Mason, and I'm going to rock with him here. I think this couldn't be a better matchup for him.
Well, what do you think of his chances of finishing?
Man, that one is really hard. I think Landwehr brings such a chaos and such a storm.
Jones could do that too, though, right? Like if he's methodical about it, I'm sure he could. Like, as long as he is not gun shy and not scared completely of Klein's power, he could do the same thing.
The only thing that's messing with me is I think we need to see a few more fights of Klein at 155. I think part of him going out against Landwehr was he was so exhausted. And I can tell you as somebody who's cutting weight, man, that guy's thick. I mean, he's the opposite of Nathaniel Wood. I mean, I'm looking at him and he's my height and I'm like, damn, this guy's fucking bowling ball. I mean, he's huge. So the cardio played such a big factor in that fight. Now he's at 55. He's on the smaller side of 55, right? Same boat as Nathaniel Wood. I think the cardio is going to be a little bit different. I mean, he looked great defensively. He's very sound. Like he's very technical. I would love to say Mason finishes him, but Mason will also be happy to jab you to death. So, really the only play for me here is Mason. That's all I'm going to touch personally, just from my betting style. I'm parlaying Mason.
I don't hate it. Again, stay away from the power. You're good. I trust him. I definitely trust him more than Jai Herbert.
1,000%.
You know I mean?
1,000%.
Jai Herbert. Like, but they have a similar like path to victory in a sense, is just avoid the bomb of your opponent. And you likely win.
Two Cage Warriors champions with great jabs, great movement, great cardio, literally the same recipe. And they're fighting two power punchers that, you know, are notoriously first round guys. So with cardio problems. So yeah, maybe you can make that little parlay, a Jai and Mason parlay, the high risk.
Oof. You want to sweat, you want to cut weight, you make that parlay for like 10 grand.
Oh, jeez. Alrighty. Next up, we got Paul Craig and Volkan Oezdemir.
Yeah, I can start this off if you'd like. Paul Craig is that guy, right? Like that freaking guy that just, he snatches victory from the mouth of defeat like every single time. Like I just watched back the Krylov fight today, and it was hilarious how much Krylov was just pounding on him. But like even right off the jump, to just throw a lazy kick so that Paul Craig could just turn that into a takedown and get this going on the mat. Not a good look. But the funniest was the setup from Paul Craig in terms of getting that triangle choke, right? He just waited for that one bomb to come down, snatched onto it, pulled him towards him, and then just locked up that triangle choke. Beautiful awareness from Paul Craig. And, you know, Nikita Krylov, like, come on, dog. You know that's his move. You know, he snatched it up against Almagomed Ankalaev with dying seconds left on the clock and managed to get the tap. You're still going to go in there and try to mess with him there? Nonsense. Volkan Oezdemir, on the other hand, yeah, he's coming off that loss to Magomed Ankalaev back in October of last year at UFC 267. Looked good for the first little bit before he eventually got cracked by Ankalaev, and then after that, it seemed like he was like, "Oh, I'm not beating this guy." Like he toughed it out. He's made it through the full 15 minutes, but it seemed like his morality and his motivation and all that just seemed to get cracked, and he broke after Ankalaev started clipping him and dinging him up with a couple shots there. Can Paul Craig do that? I don't think so, right? He also has that reckless style of striking where he doesn't care to overextend and throw, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to take me down? Okay, great. I want you to take me down. That's how he fights. But with Volkan Oezdemir, that has big power, right? I think people are forgetting about that. I think Volkan can clip this guy on the chin and put him out, put him down. You know what I mean? As long as he doesn't follow him to the ground, he should win this fight. I don't believe in the wrestling of Paul Craig. I think Volkan Oezdemir has solid takedown defense. I believe on UFC stats, I has him listed at 80% takedown defense. But even like Ankalaev struggled to get him to the ground. Rakic went 1 of 9 on takedowns, trying to get this guy to the ground, couldn't get it done. I'd be surprised if Paul Craig completes, you know, conventional takedowns in this spot. And if he can't get it to the ground, how does he beat Volkan? So I like Volkan a lot here. I feel pretty good about him. I don't know if I should be feeling even better, you know, considering he's only at about -165. Like, I feel like this should be a -300 spot for him. Like, he should go out there and win this fight pretty handily. Like, the only way he loses is if Paul Craig gets this fight to the ground. Is he willingly going to go to the ground with him? I just don't see it happening. One thing that's been very profitable, I was just looking through my record here, and one thing that's been very profitable in Paul Craig fights for me has been the under 1.5. I've cashed it 3 times at -140, -129, and +110. I feel like this is another one of those spots where we can probably cash the under 1.5, which right now is currently sitting at, where the hell is it? Under 1.5, -105 on 5 dimes. Under 2.5 seems to be the widely available total. That's getting around -200, -220, which I still don't mind either. And then obviously, if fight doesn't go to decision, it's around minus 300. But I like Volkan here. I think Volkan finds a chin. I think Volkan puts him out. Paul Craig gets a little bit too sloppy and crazy with the strikes. That should leave an opening for Volkan to crack him, get him out of there, and finish him. So I'll likely go pretty big on Volkan in this spot, and I might even have some under 2.5, under 1.5 for some possible Paul Craig fuckery should it brew or should it come about. But I don't see it.
Don't worry about it.
What are your thoughts here? You seem pretty surprised when I said minus 300 is what Volkan should be here.
No. I meant the complete opposite. I'm saying 165. I mean, I got to full port that thing. That's going to be everything for me.
Yeah.
I need to get a tattoo that says jiu-jitsu isn't real, like on my neck or something like that. I was busy in Austria, right? I had barely any Wi-Fi, and I see Santino's picks come out, and I see Herbert Burns. I was like, man, that is the biggest dog play of all. And I'm like, okay, I didn't have time to really study this card, but what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, are you serious? Like Bill Algeo, okay, everyone's going to keep doubting the skinny white boy, but like his jiu-jitsu is actually really good. And I couldn't believe Santino was on Herbert Burns because he is, what weight is that? 55? He's a 55 version of Paul Craig.
Yes.
I mean, let me get this.
Yeah.
Let me get this early. I'm going to chill on my back. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but maybe I'll get a Hail Mary something. The time has come for Paul Craig. It's over. It's done. The time has finally come. Volkan Oezdemir, man, he's good. He's solid everywhere. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's just getting beat by guys that are more athletic and just a little bit better and have better physical gifts. He's big.
Or Yuri Prohaska.
Yes.
Well, I guess physical gifts. Yeah, you're right. Physical gifts.
But he's the biggest ape of all time. His time is coming too. But yeah, I think you're dead on. We don't really need to go crazy on this. I think Volkan Oezdemir is going to put him to sleep. I think Volkan Oezdemir is probably one of the best spots on the card considering the price. Easy one for me. I'm going to get the tattoo. BJJ doesn't work. That always makes like jiu-jitsu people mad. I just went to Austria to go teach jiu-jitsu with my friend. Like obviously I'm not, being serious, but I'm critical of bad jiu-jitsu. And I think Paul Craig has horrible jiu-jitsu until it's not horrible. And it's crazy to me. I look at a guy like Ricky Simone, who I think technically has perfect jiu-jitsu for MMA. Sean Brady, technically perfect. Pat Sabatini, technically perfect. And then I see somebody do the complete opposite like Paul Craig, and they're finishing everybody by submission. And it drives me insane.
What is it? What is it about his jiu-jitsu that you don't think is great? Because like from the outside, somebody who hasn't rolled, like I've hit mitts, like I've been more of a boxing guy than a jiu-jitsu guy, but like from the outside looking in, it looks offensive, it looks dangerous. He's gotten obviously some high-level guys in it. So from a pure jiu-jitsu perspective, what is it that you're not a big fan of?
I don't like being on the back, first of all. In an MMA fight, you don't like being on the back, right? That is first and foremost. He basically rolls like the highest level white belt you could ever be. When I was a white belt and a blue belt, I was Paul Craig. I would pull guard and I would armbar everybody and triangle everybody. If I went against myself, my blue belt, white belt self now, I don't go on my back at all, but my guard is probably better than it was back then. My top pressure is insanely better than it was back then. I just don't make mistakes. I don't put myself in vulnerable positions. He's throwing Hail Marys, just constant Hail Marys, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, until one hits. And all it's going to take is one guy to say, what the hell am I doing? Let's just stand back up and it's over. He just runs his gas too much trying to get these things. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like he's Paul Sass. He's just Paul. I actually pulled up Paul Sass.
Oh, wow. What a
yes,
name.
I pulled up Paul Sass on
what
here.
A throwback.
All first round, wins by submission.
Damn, I almost forgot about
the Sass, man,
Jeez.
Especially going back to London. But yeah, I think Volkan is an easy play here.
Yeah. It's because you're right. Like we don't often see submissions off backs, especially in men's MMA. It's more prevalent in women's MMA for some reason, but in terms of men's MMA, it's not often. And Paul Craig seems to be the exception to that rule, essentially, right? Like he keeps getting guys. Like he got Gadzhimurad, Antigulov off of his back, but we know Antigulov's just not UFC level for sure, right? The guy's a good wrestling game, horrible gas tank. If he can't get you out of there, he's likely losing, just as he did against Paul Craig. Shogun managed to get Shogun to tap the strikes, but ghost of Shogun, we can definitely say that. The Jamal Hill one is the most head scratcher one, right? I unloaded pretty big money on Jamal Hill that night. obviously didn't end up cashing there, but you're right. As long as people just don't mix up on the ground with him, they should be in the clear. And Volkan Oezdemir doesn't seem like a guy that would go to the ground and try to, follow up Paul Craig and try to get him out of there, because keep this fight standing. Use the power.
My
use
theory,
your advantage.
my theory on this, and we're critical of jiu-jitsu, but that being said, his submissions are really good. It's just he's missing every other part of his game. My theory on this is because big guys don't usually have good guards, because big guys, when they're training in a gym, they're used to always being on top. Even when they train with smaller guys, the smaller guy's going to pull guard. They're not used to being on their back. Paul Craig was the one guy who decided, I'm going to get really good off my back, and I'm just as big as everybody else, and they've never seen this look before. So he's catching guys that are not used to a small guy's guard game in a 205-pound frame. So, yeah.
This discussion kind of reminds me of when we were having that Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou debate earlier this year, right? Remember that whole controversy of, was he trying to hit a sweep or was he going for the leg, right? And somebody brought up the argument that, like, Cyril Gane probably doesn't have other big guys to be training with, so his jiu-jitsu is probably not top notch. We shouldn't be expecting him to be hitting these leg locks or something against guys that actually know what they're doing. And once they start fighting the guys that know what they're doing, then they're going to start running into trouble. And that's probably what happened with Francis. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad that we're on the same train.
We've been pretty much there the whole
I hope he does it for the boys here. I think he goes out there and gets the win. Yeah. A couple that we disagreed on, but definitely this Volkan one, I think we're pretty heavy on. I'm kind of surprised that we're still getting a decent price tag on him as well. I'm not sure what people are seeing on the Paul Craig.
You know what? They cashed Makwan and they cashed Paul Craig on that last card, and so people are keeping these prices pretty low on this one. And these are two guys that are first round or bust, or Hail Mary submission or bust. So pretty easy hedge on both sides. You take Makwan by sub and you take Paul Craig by sub, and then you can play a big money line and let it ride. All right, next up, we got Molly McCann and Hannah Goldy.
Yeah, weird fight here. Like, hold on, let me just pull this up real quick. Yeah, so Molly McCann minus 380 now, minus 400 almost. Holy crap. I don't care what she did in her last fight. I don't care that she's signed to Barstool. Minus 400 is ridiculous. Molly McCann, really? Like, everybody, I remember when everybody was on her for the Tyler Santos fight. Good God, that was horrible. Like, Molly McCann's going to go out there and mollywop fucking, no pun intended, mollywop Tyler Santos. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? So I was glad to get the underdog odds there. Is that really Santos, what it was? Like,
oh my God.
Her style, yeah. Because Tyler Santos was coming off the loss to Mara Romero Barella in her UFC debut, and everybody's like, oh, she sucks now. No, like, it was her UFC debut. Give her the benefit of the doubt, and I think she'll be able to show off a better version of herself, and she clearly did. She went tooth and nail against the champion a couple of weeks ago, right? Maybe a couple months ago at this point in time. But this whole schedule is just fucking blended together. But in this matchup, I have no choice but to take a little bit of a shot on Hannah Goldy. Like, just her output alone, I think, is enough to keep her in this fight. Her jiu-jitsu offensively off her back, good enough to keep this competitive and not allow Molly McCann to just grind her out like she did in her, past couple fights before that. There was, hold on, let me pull up the UFC stats here for that. But there was one fight where Molly McCann, Diana Belbita, she gets her down 7 times. And now she got her down 5 times that night. And all of a sudden, people thought that she's like this D1 wrestler type of fighter all of a sudden, which is why they wanted to take her against Tyler Santos. They end up eating crow that night. Not only do they end up eating crow, but Tyler Santos is the one having grappling success, landing 5 takedowns that night. Followed that up with Lara Procopio having takedown success against Molly McCann, going 7-0 in terms of takedowns there. Then Molly McCann, close fight against Ji Yoon Kim. She obviously gets the win there because of her forward pressure and style. The Luana Carolina fight, spinning back elbow, obviously helps the cause there. Big win for her there. But Hannah Goldy strikes me as a girl that can remain competitive in terms of just output. This fight doesn't really matter about technique because both women just go out there and just fucking throw. That's all they do. And if that's what's going to happen, if Molly McCann shoots a couple takedowns, I don't expect her to have a ton of success there, and she might even find herself in a submission. I think that Hannah Goldy has been working on her back game. for that specific reason. Obviously, she got that submission over Emily Whitmire. She's been working a lot with Jillian Robertson. There's another chick that she's working with that I can't remember off the top of my head, but she's down there at Fusion XL in Orlando. But there's no way Molly McCann should be minus 400 here. Now, I'm not sure how anybody can have minus 400 type of confidence in her in this spot. So just for that alone, I'm taking a shot on Hannah Goldy here.
Don't do it.
Volume, output, remain competitive.
Don't do it.
That's enough. Talk me off the cliff, Brandon.
Okay, well,
talk me off the cliff.
First and foremost, let me be the Hannah Goldy expert here. I put a disgusting amount on Emily Whitmire, like more than I'm proud to admit. And I felt right. I was like, yes, that was the easy read here. And she got submitted the same way she's been submitted in every single like I cannot believe it. What was the read the other day? It was the Jessica Rose Clark against Stoliarenko.
Oh,
it was like the easiest one ever, and we all decided, not we all, but I decided to ignore it, even though it was like so obvious. It's completely. I took full advantage. I thought like, no, she's a power lifter. She's gonna. It's not gonna work. Jiu-jitsu doesn't work. No, Hannah Goldy really, her jiu-jitsu really doesn't work. I actually don't worry at all on the ground. Molly is so pliable, and I think she moves so well. I think you're underrating Molly a little bit, just in the wrong area. I think her striking weirdly is very calculated. I think it's really rare that we see a woman that has great head movement and great body work. Her boxing, I think, is actually very, very solid. Now, this is something that I say a lot. The styles in which they fight already gives Molly a huge advantage. That's already worth minus 200 right off the bat. Skills aside, just Hannah Goldy, always on the back foot, always circling the cage. I think she's very low volume. And then when she does throw, it's a big miss. She's got these short little T-Rex arms, always a big miss. Molly's the opposite. She's always pressing forward. She's putting on the cage. She's high volume. Now your read on the defensive grappling is dead on. I think Molly's defensive grappling is horrible. And I think it's, I was going through the same thing. It's because you get in the mindset you want to strike. I am going to tear this person up. Their back's on the cage. I am ready to fucking unload on them. And then you get taken down. And you're like, come on, man, we're kickboxing. Like, we had a gentleman's agreement. We're just going to strike here. And I think she has moments, she has lapses. I bet on Ji Yeon Kim against Molly. I was heartbroken. I thought that was a very close fight. Could have gone either way. And Ji Yeon Kim is horrible in a million different ways. So it speaks on Molly a little bit. So I can understand not wanting to pay minus 400 for her. No complaints out of me there. But I think she wins the fight. My only concern is those big diesel arms of Hannah Goldy. Molly comes in with reckless abandon sometimes, just trying to kill you. And almost all the knockouts happen when you're trying to kill somebody else. Those big diesel arms, she hasn't fought somebody like that before. She fights a lot of, string beans and a lot of taller girls, and she works this body work good, and she puts heavy pressure. I worry that she could get chinned. I still think she has every upside here. She's got the striking upside. She's got the wrestling upside. She had some good takedowns on Luana Carolina, who Loopy had a tough time taking down. Look how well that aged. I think she's better in every department. I only worry that she could get chinned just trying to be explosive and come on. But, man, I don't think Hannah Goldy is anywhere near UFC quality, and that's in an already really weak division. She's too strong and too muscle bound to have really good hips, to have a good get-up game, to have high volume. She's just too strong. I think her only prayer is that big bomb. That's it. That's the only thing I worry about. I think Molly is a game fighter. I think the crowd is going to help her. The style fight's going to help her. I really don't worry parlaying minus 400. Obviously I would never play that straight. It makes me want to throw up, and I've lost almost every women's MMA fight that I have paid that. But I don't mind parlaying her. I like Molly McCann here.
I slightly disagree in terms of the output, or like the Hannah just mainly just having that knockout power that you have to worry about. Like, this is somebody that got up 140 significant strikes in her Contender Series fight, albeit against a girl like Callie Robbins, but she is capable of just throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing. And she landed over 90 strikes against Diana Balbita, who's obviously rangier and longer than her. The Miranda Granger one, very weird fight there. She obviously ended up losing that. We didn't really get to see the Emily Whitmire fight go much longer, but like, I do think she's capable in terms of matching the volume of Molly. But you're right. In terms of optically speaking, Molly McCann will likely have the advantage right off the bat, because she's going to be the one moving forward. She's the one crashing forward, looking to instigate more of a fight and kind of make it look better for the judges. Not to mention hometown advantage. advantage. There are a lot of things going against Hannah Goldy in this spot, but I do think that's going to play out kind of close. And I like, again, when I'm talking about taking a shot on Hannah Goldy, I'm talking about like $100, like nothing crazy, like half a unit shot, essentially, nothing crazy. I'm not touching Molly McCann with a 10-foot pole at -400 here. This fight's going to play out too close for my liking. All the advantages seem to be on Molly's side, just as I laid out. But I do think that Hannah can make this close as long as she can get off on her strikes as well. As long as she's not gun shy or anything like that. Not to mention, I wouldn't even be surprised if she does look to engage in the clinch and try to overpower her and drag this fight to the ground. She landed 2 takedowns. She landed 2 takedowns against Diana Belbita, got about 5 minutes of control time there. Maybe if she looks to take that approach here against Molly, she could stifle Molly McCann as well. So I think there, personally, again, value, whenever we talk about value, the word that people always leave out is perceived value, because that's what we're talking about at the end of the day. What do I perceive as value compared to what do you perceive as value, right? I'm perceiving value in a Hannah Goldy at +3, whatever the fuck she's at, just because I think it's going to play out close. Other people may not see it that way. That's how I see it. So I'm going to be taking at least a half-unit shot on
I can't fault
Hannah
you,
Goldy
especially with my recent track record with women's MMA. Gloria DePaula, you're dead to me.
Oh, dude, I've been on fire with women's MMA, so I'm hoping that it continues its luck here with Hannah Goldy. Again, not big hopes for it, but
for these value
nice
hunters,
that as well.
First of all, a lot of these value hunters suck at like watching fights. They can't watch tape. They don't know what the hell they're fucking looking at. But why not just bet every women's underdog ever? I'm like, okay, I'm in the lab watching every tape they've ever had and seeing what they eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm like, oh, this is not even going to be a close fight. This girl sucks. Yes, and then I lose every time. So why not? Okay, if you're a value hunter, just go on to women's MMA, bet the unders when you think the fight's going to go over, bet the overs when you think the fight's going to go under, and always bet the underdogs. You're going to be a millionaire. Take the opposite of whatever I bet for women's MMA.
There you go. Hashtag Lauren Murphy for title shot number 2.
I rolled with Lauren Murphy a couple times. I think she's in Texas now. Might be the strongest human ever.
Yeah. Actually, no, she's in Colorado now, but before that,
strongest
she was in
human
Texas.
I've ever touched in my life. I mean, she's just an ox.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah. No, she's massive.
Now let's move on. Thanks for going for this marathon. This is not only a long card, but we're not as quick paced as your show. A little more long winded.
I love it. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
So next up, we got Nikita Krylov and Alexander Gustafsson. So this is the one fight I didn't get to tape too much. So go ahead and lead, and I'm just going to agree with whatever you say.
Well, first of all, can we get a rating on Nikita Krylov's fight IQ? Like 1 out of 10, it's like a -7, right? Especially after that last fight against Paul Craig. Like when you see stuff like that from a fighter, it's very tough to want to make an argument for them, especially when they're the favorite in a fight. But like Alexander Gustafsson, you got to look hard to really find reasons to bet this guy at this point, right? He's 35 years old, which in light heavyweight years really isn't that old, right? Like most fighters at that weight class are probably starting to hit their prime at 35 years old. You can get away with being, in your mid to later 30s in the light heavyweight and heavyweight divisions. He might still have the striking advantage, but like, can we really say 100% he does? Because the Fabricio Verdum fight, like, if you guys went back and watched that fight, like, it looked like he was doing a lot of that hopping and just trying to get back to his smooth footwork type of style, but it seemed like he was having trouble doing so. Like he was obviously fighting that fight at heavyweight. Let me just quickly look up how much he was actually weighing that night, because he definitely looked thicker. It looked like the weight was kind of keeping him.
You can say it. He's fat. He was fat.
Footwork, and
you can say it.
That guy. He was. He was 240 pounds, 35 pounds from what he used to weigh in at. I'm sure come fight day when he was fighting at light heavyweight, he was probably around 220 to 230 ish. But it seemed to really take away from him that night, where he just couldn't get it going. He couldn't get into that flow state. You even saw it a little bit in the Anthony Smith fight. He lost the first 2 rounds unanimously on all judges' scorecards. He had a decent 3rd round, but then obviously got finished in the 4th round there. But like, it's hard to truly make an argument for Alexander Gustafsson here because of the little that we've been seeing over the last 2 to 3 years. And Nikita Krylov being the guy that's been active, right? He might be the better overall MMA fighter at this point in time. I want to side with Alexander Gustafsson. there's nothing hard facts wise that I can bring to the table to be like, he is a great underdog pick. He should go out there and beat Krylov. The only thing I can say is that Krylov has shit fight IQ. And that's the only positive I can give Alexander Gustafsson. It's by shitting on his opponent. So I'll go with Krylov, but like, I have no enthusiasm in terms of backing him here as a -180, -190 favorite, because Gustafsson might have a resurgence of some sort, especially if he's back at 205 pounds. He's probably back in shape. He's probably trying to take it seriously again. And if we get 70% of what he used to be at the top of his game, he probably beats Krylov here. Faster hand speed, great footwork, solid takedown defense, because I'm sure he's going to face some takedowns here from Krylov. If Krylov was grappling against Paul Craig, you bet your ass he's going to be looking to grapple against Gustafsson. But if he can't get that grappling off, he probably gets touched up by Gustafsson. This is a pass of all pass fights for me, but since we are doing a prediction show, I'll lean with Krylov because he's been the more active fighter. But another guy I don't want to touch with the 10-foot pole, especially as a chalky
I think I'm liking
here.
Gustafsson here. It's weird. I watch a lot of fights that people lose, and I take a lot of good things. I don't do it to be contrarian, but I find a lot of things that I really like about guys. Now, Gustafsson was a little bit before my time, like when I was watching film all the time and way into it, and betting and doing all this stuff. I was actually really impressed with the Fabricio Verdum fight. Like, moved really well. Like, I think he made a good play, really? And he just got caught in a really unfortunate situation. I think Gustafsson at heavyweight would be a force. I mean, a guy that moves as well as Gustafsson does, in theory, would be
wow.
Amazing. I mean, how you don't think he could beat Chase Sherman or a Josh Parisian or?
I agree in that aspect, but I felt as though a heavyweight was more so weighing him down in a sense. Like, to me, it looked like he was trying to get started, because I was like, deep into this tape study stuff, even during Gustafsson's prime run, up until getting a title shot, and even a couple of the fights after that. And the thing that he relied on the most was his speed, his footwork, and his hand speed as well. And it seemed like he had none of that.
I disagree. I thought he did have that. I was actually really impressed with the bounce. And in my mind, I didn't remember Gustafsson being that good. Like, his hands actually were really impressive to me. Stuffed the initial takedown. Excellent. Boom. Hammer fists were great. Verdum pulled the Rani Yaya. I'm going to get stuffed out on the first takedown, and I'm just going to grab on for dear life and hope I can do whatever I can do. And then he got caught with an unfortunate back take. I was actually really impressed, but I do agree with you. Putting on that weight a lot of times shows the lack of discipline. And of course it weighs you down. I mean, that's why in boxing, the weight classes are such a big deal, because, you go down a weight class, you have more speed, less power. You go up a weight class, now heavy. There's so many different variables, but he had a spare tire around his waist. Look at his Instagram now. I mean, the guy looks great. He's taken some time off, which is probably really healthy for him. I mean, do you think he forgot how to fight in the last 2 years? I doubt it. He's posting pictures with Hamzat. Like, I think he's got the goods. I think he's fast.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying? I mean,
in shape.
Man, he looks good. He looks really good. I'm looking at his, where's he been? He just looks like he's been doing nothing but training and looking awesome. I remember in my tape study with Krylov, because, that same week when he fought Paul Craig, everyone told me he's a lock of all locks. And I think if you go back to the show we did with Paul Craig and Krylov, I think I threw I could see Paul Craig winning this fight, but I was completely off about how he would win the fight, which seems stupid in retrospect. Like, he had one path to victory, and that's exactly how he executed it. I thought weirdly, like, Paul Craig could tag him on the feet, blitz him, do some weird stuff. And that's not what happened at all. But to say I would be impressed with Krylov would be a lie. I mean, I think he gets a little bit tired. He's almost got the Ramazan Ameev effect. Like, he's just not spectacular. He just is kind of there for a long time. And I think in this fight, Gustafsson has great fight IQ, great hand speed, and he makes moments look big. He makes these uppercuts look excellent. This body work, this speed. Judges really like that slick fighter versus the guy that kind of hangs around and just is there. I like Gustafsson. I need to dive into tape a little bit more on this. Like I said, this was the one fight I really didn't get to a whole lot, but I think I'm going to love Gustafsson. I think he's got a couple more fights in him. The time off will do him well. That's going to be my dog shot here.
Dude, I wouldn't even be surprised if I come out on the other side by fight time, man. Like it's one of those spots. I can't back Krylov as a favorite. I was questioning Gustafsson's motivation and ability to go out there and keep competing at a high level, but man, the guy looks in sick shape. And I'm not one of those guys that usually gets swayed by a guy's Instagram page or something like that, right? But again, it's forcing him. Yeah, it's his discipline that's most important to me, right? He looks like he's in great shape, and the fact that he has to be disciplined to make 205 pounds, maybe that's all that he needs to go out there and compete at a high level again. And Krylov, medium level essentially. So if he can, like I said, if he can capture 70% of what he was at his peak, he probably beats Krylov. So I don't know, man.
I would say think about this too. You talk about motivation. Gustafsson has been in big fights, title fights, main events for his whole career. I was just in Europe. You think that Gustafsson's not living like a king in Sweden? He absolutely is. He's the biggest guy there. He's a god to everybody in Sweden. He's set. He's good. I doubt he is hurting for money. So what would be his motivation to return at 35? What would be my motivation to return at 26? I got a good job. I make plenty of money. Like what the hell is my motivation? I don't need to fight again, especially for free. He wants something. He wants something. He wants to be back in there. I don't think about the money for him. So I like Gustafsson.
And I got to say, before we move on here, I wish Nikita Krylov stuck with the Al Capone moniker that he had when he first came into the UFC. That was, I'm not sure if you saw his Sherdog page back in the day where he had that picture of him with like the mafia hat and like the
would be even better now.
That shit. That was fire.
With all
that
the
was
tensions.
So fire. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Oh man, I remember him being such a badass before he made his UFC debut, but quickly fell off after going 2-2 and even and then fizzling out in the UFC there. But we'll see if he can get it done against the veteran this weekend.
All right, next up we got Paddy Pimblett and Jordan Levitt. Let me kick this one off. I'll run the hype trains. Okay. You're not smart for saying that Paddy Pimblett is all hype. Like nobody's brain buster for saying, man, he's not going to be a champ. Like, guys, you're not smart for saying that. Like everybody with eyes or knows what the hell they're talking about can see that. I think when it comes to betting, I don't care about Paddy Pimblett. I hung out with him, once when he was in Phoenix and he was fat as hell and drunk everywhere. But I don't really care about him. Like as a person, he's not my friend. He's not my brother. I do this because I like to make money. If I wasn't making money, I probably wouldn't even watch the fights. All I can focus on is the matchup right here, right now. How will I make money this weekend? This is one of the best spots for him. I think the UFC got together and they have him on the Sean O'Malley train. What is the easiest path that we could possibly give this guy until his skills meet up with his excitement? Because Paddy Pimblett is exciting. Man, you watch his Cage Warriors walkouts. I've never seen anything like it. It is exciting. Crazy. I could watch it right now and just get pumped up. Paddy does a lot of things well, and he does some things poorly, but Levitt is not the guy to expose it, right? Levitt has bad cardio. He's got bad wrestling. He's got bad striking. He's got some weird gangly jiu-jitsu, but he's not submitting everybody. He's not submitting everybody at this level. I think you're wasting your money trying to convince yourself that Levitt's the guy to beat Paddy Pimblett. There's a reason it's this high up in the card in London. He's fighting a guy that barely got past a 1 week's notice, Trey Ogden, who lost to Claudio Puelles, who's losing to all these guys, having close fights with all these guys. Paddy is a better striker. He's faster, more dynamic. He moves better cardio, higher level fights, more experience. I mean, the list can go on and on, guys. Don't overthink this one. It's Paddy Pimblett by a mile. You're not smart for calling him a fraud. We get it. We all know he's not going to be the world champion, but focus on this weekend. The odds are really good for you. They should be minus 500, minus 700. So call this value, but Paddy Pimblett by country mile.
I couldn't say it any better than that. Like I am one of those guys that's waiting for the moment to actually fade him and cash that big money ticket. This is not the one. Like it's gonna have to take Jordan Levitt, throwing a banana peel in there and hoping Paddy slips on it and then he can jump on his back or something. But I'd be surprised if something like that happens. Like you said, horrible cardio, horrible striking. I see Paddy just walking through all that stuff and putting his punches together. I think he gets to finish as well. So
I do too.
Yeah, as I don't know why it hurts me to say, but Paddy's the side minus 255.
That's a crazy price
value as well. Yeah, Yeah.
I mean,
No, I
you
like
look
it.
at his last fight with Kazula Vargas. Is that who he fought last, Kazula?
Yeah. Yep.
Kazula actually comes to fight. Like, Kazula has really impressed me.
Mhm.
I lost my ass when he fought Zhu Rong. I thought Zhu Rong was going to smoke him, and I thought he was horrible.
Yeah.
He comes to fight. This is by far the easiest fight he's had in the UFC. And people forget, Paddy's a grappler first and foremost. I mean, he's still learning his striking like a lot of us. He's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was a wee lad and competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments, and he moves well. He's got good hips. Like, guys, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I think you can put Paddy into parlays this week and not feel too scared about it.
All right, so we'll move on quickly then. We got two more. We're almost to the finish line here. Next up, we got Jack Hermansson versus Chris Curtis. Go ahead on this one.
Interesting line on this one, right? Like, I think a lot of people are expecting to see Chris Curtis have big dog odds once again, but I think that the bookmakers are kind of getting privy to it. And I think that this is the fight that they finally make back all the money, from Chris Curtis kind of just destroying everybody. But yeah, I think this Cinderella run that Chris Curtis is on at middleweight, which is not his ideal weight class, this is where it comes to an end. Like, he's been taking fight after fight and staying active and, collecting those checks and all that. But this comes down to styles. And I get it. Rodolfo Vieira went 0 for 20 on takedowns in his last fight. But Jack Hermansson is a legitimate grappler, legitimate wrestler. He will be able to take Chris Curtis to the ground. He will be able to outpower him, outmuscle him, drag him to the ground, grind him out, finish him from on top, whatever you want to call it. And I think that Chris Curtis will struggle to implement his striking style. Like, I think he's very much going to struggle to close that distance and get those shots off. I know in terms of reach, it's not that far off. Let me get the actual numbers here. But like, the height is obviously where Jack Hermansson usually dwarfs his opponents, right? He's 6'1" compared to the 5'10" Chris Curtis. That's 3 inches there, if I'm not mistaken. And then in terms of reach, Jack Hermansson only has a 2-inch reach on him. But he's like that gangly, strong type of guy that, like, once he wraps his hands around you, gets his position and is able to drag this fight to the ground, I think Chris Curtis is going to be like, oh shit, I was in over my head here. So I love this price tag as well. Like, I think I'm going to go pretty big on Jack Hermansson here. And I think the reason for that is because of the hype that's around Chris Curtis's name, right? What happened to him being plus 250 against Phil Hawes? What happened to him being, whatever the fuck he was against? Who's the other guy?
Brendan Allen.
Brendan Allen. Yeah, he was a big dog there too. Now all of a sudden he beats those guys who are flaky guys to begin with. Now all of a sudden Jack Hermansson should be a pick'em against this guy. I get it. Jack hasn't really had the greatest run either, right? He's coming off that main event loss to Sean Strickland, who obviously, great striker and had the perfect type of style to beat a guy like Jack Hermansson. But before that, shows off a great overall game against Edmund Shabazian, loses against Marvin Vettori. That's an acceptable loss. Quick win against Calvin Gastelum. Like, yeah, I don't see Chris Curtis stopping the takedowns. That's what it comes down to. And I think Jack Hermansson will be successful there. Jack's going to grind this one out and get this done. Minus 110, gift of a line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm here with you. I don't know if I ever got. Yeah, I never got more hate than when I was telling everybody. I was like, Chris Curtis is going to smoke Rodolfo Vieira. Like, I don't think it's going to be particularly a close fight. And I gave a million reasons why. Like, I was with Rodolfo for a fight week when he had an enlarged heart, and they told him you can never fight again. And he's struggling to pay bills at his kids' academy in Orlando by himself with no training partners. Like, I was like, guys, this is an easy one. And this is what we talk about, that one dimension, right? When you have one dimension that you have to prepare for. And in that fight, it was literally a blast double leg. And all Chris did was like, okay, I'm ready to sprawl. Now I'll strike. I'm ready to sprawl. Now I'll strike. Pretty linear fight. Pretty easy one. And I told everybody, I think Chris Curtis is the easy side here. But we talk about recency bias, and now we have this fight, right? Short notice matchup. So, man, I'm still hurting. My shins hurt. And I didn't have a war like that. I grappled the whole time. I didn't throw any kicks, and I barely got kicked, and I'm hurting. I mean, Chris Curtis is an ultra vet, and every breakdown I've ever done, I picked against him against B. Allen. But I said, Chris Curtis is good. I never disparaged him. I never said he's not worthy. He's going to get smoked. I said, Chris Curtis is an ultra veteran. He's good. I just think, these guys are a little more talented and younger and everything like that. I am with you. I think it ends here. Jack Hermansson is gritty. He's also an ultra veteran, and his takedowns come from different places. Rodolfo is he's a square trying to fit into a round peg, right? He's this MMA, this jiu-jitsu phenom, right? That's trying to make a late run in MMA. And he's still one-dimensional and hasn't been doing everything forever. Jack Hermansson does body locks. He does trip takedowns. He does double legs. He is a complete wrestler, complete grappler. He's got good jiu-jitsu, also good striking, enough to make people worry. Good jab. Like, he is complete. This is two complete guys going against each other. I think the weight class is a big deal. The recent fight is a big deal. I'm with you. I like Jack Hermansson to get him down, beat him up on top, control him. It's probably going to go to a decision. I think Chris Curtis is enough of an ultra veteran to last, but I think it stops here. Yeah, I like Jack Hermansson by a lot, actually.
Yeah, you're surprised by the price tag here as well, are you not?
When it first came out, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And I love Chris Curtis. I love Chris Curtis. I think he's an awesome guy. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, nuts to me. Like, he keeps getting this love, and I think a lot of it has to do with the run that he's on, the hype that he's producing. But at a certain point, it's going to come to an end, man. Like, he has to go back to 170, I think, to have true success inside the UFC, like legitimate success to make a title run or anything. But this is not going to be no Gilbert Burns situation, right? Remember when Gilbert went up to welterweight on short notice, managed to get a run going, got some big wins under his belt, got a title shot. I think it ends a little bit premature here for Chris Curtis with Jack Hermansson. Just, yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm likely going to go pretty big on Jack here. And I love the price.
I kind of love the layout of the card too. What I really like to do is kind of like chunk the card together so I can just keep raising I don't do units. Like, I'm still Wild West, but I like to chunk it. So like, first 3 fights, okay, let's hit this one. Then we'll put more money on the next 3 and then, keep going up the chain. So I love the ladder of this one, and to polish it off with a pick'em line on Jack Hermansson is going to be very sweet.
Sweet.
All right. Now we have the main event. Mr. Curtis Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall. And this is already going to be the fight this week that's going to break up friendships. People are going to block each other on Twitter. And it's stupid. I hate this. Like, what are your thoughts? Curtis Blaydes, Tom Aspinall. Now, I do have to say, last time Tom Aspinall fought, I was in the comments on your prop show. And I was listening to you. And I can't remember the other guy. It's like, Tom,
Cody.
No, not Cody. It was the Fox guy. And he's like,
John.
He's he is so basic. He just is so basic. He's basic. When I said basic to Santino one time, he ripped me a new one. He goes, basic is what we want. Basic is the best thing you can have. If you had a jab and a jab and a straight and you moved your head, that's basic, and you're going to win 1,000,000 fights. So stop saying basic. I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't stand them calling Tom Aspinall basic because this guy moves better than I do, and he's 265 pounds. Black belt in jiu-jitsu, can wrestle his ass off. The cardio aspect, I totally understood, but I was like, why are you calling him basic? It just, what does that even mean, basic? What the fuck is basic? I don't get it. I don't understand. That's a positive thing. It's not throwing spinning wheel kicks. Yeah. Like, he's basic. Yes, perfect. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, fuck, man. This is a tough fight always to break down whenever it's Tom Aspinall. I was pretty, confident and holding that Volkov flag last time around in Aspinall's last fight. And the part that I very much overlooked was Aspinall's ability to get this fight to the ground. Like, I really didn't think he had that kind of wrestling. His timing was phenomenal. Like, we knew he had the speed advantage. That was clear as day. And I thought that was only really going to translate with the striking aspect. Like, that's what I was afraid of for Volkov early, was getting dinged up a little bit by Aspinall, because that was absolutely on the table. But then when he started going to his wrestling and using it so effectively, I was like, oh shit. Like, this guy,
he's the truth.
Like, the only question I really have about him still is the cardio, because we just haven't seen him get pushed that far. Is Curtis Blaydes going to be the guy to be able to push him that far? Maybe. But like, the only guys Curtis Blaydes has lost to are against guys that have deathly power. Tom Aspinall could be that guy to have deathly power, because it's powered by speed, right? Speed and timing is what he's really good at in terms of landing his shots on the feet. And he could catch Curtis Blaydes with something. Like, Curtis is improving his striking, don't get me wrong. But when he fights a better striker, like he's going to be fighting this weekend, he's going to start to shell up once Aspinall starts letting those strikes go. I still just have that thing in the back of my head where I'm like I've done this a couple of times where a guy I bet against on numerous occasions continues to go out there and prove me wrong, and then I jump ship at the wrong time, and then he ends up losing that fight. The perfect example for me, and I didn't bet on this guy, but I predicted that he would win, was Joel Alvarez against Arman Tsarukyan. Like, I should have been on the Tsarukyan side. I can't believe such a stupid idiot I was for letting all those performances that Joel Alvarez had overshadow the fact that Arman Tsarukyan is such a great fighter. And I don't want that to happen here against Curtis Blaydes, because Curtis Blaydes is easily number 2, maybe number 3 best heavyweight in the world, especially with that wrestling style. My fear is that he gets caught again. My fear is that the speed that Tom Aspinall has mixed with the power will be able to find that chin of Curtis and eventually knock him out. But should this fight go into the third, fourth, or even fifth round, my confidence in Blaydes starts to grow, which is why I'm like, at plus 110, like, is he worth the risk, or should I just play this shit live and, see if Aspinall manages to get him out in the first round? I save a little bit of money, but if this creeps into the second round, there's a good chance that Curtis Blaydes is a bigger underdog. But on the flip side as well, like we've seen this happen, Jake Matthews against Andre Fiallo. Everybody's like, bet Jake Matthews after round 1, because more than likely he's not going to win round 1. He went out there and he won round 1, and he was a bigger favorite going into round 2. Same thing could happen with Curtis Blaydes here in a sense, right? If he does get his wrestling going, if he does manage to drag this fight to the ground, he immediately balloons up to a minus 200, minus 250 live. And I don't like Aspinall's chances of pulling off the comeback victory. I think if Blaydes gets started early here and manages to land that takedown, he parlays that into the rest of the fight. I want to pick Curtis Blaydes as my prediction. I know I'm going to get ragged for it in the comment section of my podcast when I drop my podcast, because there's this cult of followers of mine that are like, this guy hates Tom Aspinall. He always bets against him and he always ends up losing money. It's going to happen again this weekend. I will pick Curtis Blaydes here. He seems to be the play, the guy, plus 110, the most accredited opponent that Tom Aspinall has yet to face. I gotta pick Curtis Blaydes here, man. I think Tom really relies on that under 1.5, and if he can't get it done under 1.5, I think we really see Blaydes start to pick it up. I really believe that Tom Aspinall has a cardio issue. I do. And it's because of how he fights early in fights, which has been very successful for him, right? Landing those big shots, using his speed, using his footwork. But I 100% guarantee all of that starts to slow down the later a fight goes, especially if Curtis Blaydes is pounding your brains into the canvas in that first round. So I'm going to go Blaydes. I think Blaydes finishes him probably by the third round, which is why the under 3.5 actually screams out to me a little bit around minus 160. I do think that this fight finishes within, like I said, by midway the fourth round, and I'm going to pick Blaydes to get it done via ground and pound, probably third round.
I don't think you can have a bad take on this fight. I mean, you made the logical, normal, pick for this fight, but for our podcast viewers, go ahead and roast him in the. I'm just kidding.
Never doing this show again.
I think this one. This reminds me of the Chris Curtis Rodolfo one, right? Everybody's so split, and MMA Twitter, man, I try to really avoid it. Like I like to just kind of tweet into the.
I'll tell you this, Brandon. I'm starting to distance myself a little bit. Like I don't get into as many interactions as I used to, because you're screaming at a brick wall.
It's healthier.
It does nothing.
It does nothing.
It's better to just stay away from that.
I like to be.
Before you continue, there's one fight in particular. I felt as if I was involved with MMA Twitter as I used to be like 2-3 years ago. I likely would not have taken Saeed Jokob Kakramanov because I had so much goddamn confidence on him. But everybody and their mother seemed to be on the Ronnie Lawrence side that night. And I felt as though I would have subconsciously gotten swayed onto the Ronnie Lawrence side had I been as active on MMA Twitter as I used to be. So that's another reason I'm trying to keep it to the side is I want to keep my confidence where it's at. Yes, I am a victim to subconsciously be swayed at times, but I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible by not ingesting as much information before making my bets as I used to.
I go with that same. I really like my Twitter. When you post me, I get a ton of followers. And so that's why I do 90% now, like just complete random tweets that mean nothing to anybody. And then I'll put 10% as fight tweets. That way I get a healthy amount of people not paying attention to me, which I kind of like because, it's just too much. It's overload a lot of times. People behind fake profiles telling you're such an idiot for this or that. Yeah. And, it's just, you're right. It's a lot. And
it's a part of the gig for me though, right? Given what I'm doing.
Yes.
I have to kind of be a part of social media. If it didn't need to be a part of my game and what I'm doing, I would not do it at all. But you got to fuel this beast somehow. Yes. And that's with the human interaction.
Of course. And like, the thing is like, I picked Saeed Jokob. And I'm watching the tape going, this guy's going to kill him. And I know this. And everybody's telling me Ronnie Lawrence. I'm like, I don't respect anybody's opinion on Twitter because I don't know them. Why do they know better than me? Why, everyone wants to call themselves a sharp, but this sharp has been selling insurance for 30 years and has family money. What the hell does he know better than I do? I fight, I train with the best guys in the world. Why the fuck does he know better than me? Yeah. So I try to look at everybody's opinion like it doesn't matter, and not in an arrogant way like I'm all knowing, but I sometimes get swayed from people's opinions that I respect. And then it messes with me and I'm like, why do they even know better than I know? It doesn't make any sense. This to me, this main event, this is one fight where I respect what you're saying and I totally understand. And I don't think there's a significant edge either way. I think you could be right on Tom Aspinall having the cardio problems. That being said, every fight is different and we've never seen him go 5 rounds. We just haven't. We don't really know. We could take a guess because he took a deep breath in the Arlovsky fight, but we don't really know. And Curtis Blaydes has moments where he looks like should be the heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, he looks world beater. So for you to take a Curtis Blaydes stance, I will never say like, man, what an idiot. What a horrible take. It doesn't make any sense. I will never say that. For me to be on the Tom Aspinall side, I understand, like, I have kind of a baseless argument. And at the end of the day, it's what we're doing. It's like professional guessing. I'm not the one fighting. Yeah. That's what was refreshing about me fighting is I get to control what's actually happening in here because it's my fight. I'm not the one fighting. I'm just guessing professionally. Here's the one edge that I'm going to look at for this fight. Okay. And sorry, we're going a little wordy. This, we'll wrap it up.
Who cares?
I was
people enjoy.
Hey, we're turning into Locky late night. We can jump into feelings. Okay, I competed in American Nationals. It was a jiu-jitsu tournament at the UFC Expo, or what is it, International Fight Week, back when Conor McGregor fought Chad Mendes. Okay, knowing everything we know about Conor McGregor now, and if he were to fight prime, juiced up Chad Mendes on a full camp, who would you take in that fight? Chad Mendes, and it really wouldn't be close. Anderson Silva against any decent wrestler, like, knowing what we know now. I mean, Anderson was good, but I mean, you'd probably take this dominant wrestler, especially with the level of MMA, how far it's come. But there's something about this like air that people have. There's something about this air. I remember feeling it. It was so palpable that fight week for Conor McGregor. This air. And he had it against Eddie Alvarez. And Eddie Alvarez would always come to fight. And he's a very good fighter, very few holes. And Conor just had this like air about him. Tom Aspinall, to me, has this. I mean, he's very talented. His tangibles, right? His jiu-jitsu is very good. He moves crazy. His one technical weakness is the chin up, but he uses that to draw people in so he can counter them. But he has this air about him and this confidence. And I think somebody knows something because he's a young guy, not necessarily in age, but in his career. Somebody knows something. They're putting him as the main event in London. Now, the UK MMA is some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. I mean, every crowd is so unique. It is so energetic. It has so much volume. I mean, it makes you get goosebumps. It is way better than America's crowds, like not even close. They're putting this guy as the main event against a guy who's very, very good. Like Curtis Blaydes is legitimately very good. My only knock on Curtis Blaydes, because he has every physical tool. He can wrestle his ass off. His striking is really good. Amazing cardio. We've seen everything that we need to see from Curtis Blaydes. I think he's a bit of a head case. I think he's a little bit of a little bit. Because I've heard him talk before, and I've heard some things like, I got in my own head. A little bit of a mental midget. And a little bit predictable. So here's what I, in my mind, and again, I'm not going to say like, put your house on this. If he can't get his first takedown and he can't get his second takedown against a guy that's as dynamic and smart and athletic as Tom Aspinall, and he's getting outstruck, like, man, this guy's fucking fast. I don't care how good his cardio is. He's got all these people chanting, and you got the air of Tom Aspinall, and you got stopped out on your first takedown, your second takedown, and you're getting outstruck. What the hell is going to happen then? That's what I worry about. And, I'm probably pumping this up way too much. I just remember what I felt that Conor McGregor fight week, and I just feel it with Tom Aspinall. And I could look like a total idiot. He could be on his back for 5 rounds. In London, in the O2 Arena, this guy that moves like a flyweight, who's got all the skills in the world. I think it's going to be Tom Aspinall. I think we're witnessing the changing of the guard, where for so long we've always said Curtis Blaydes is the guy to take over, and he's the guy to eventually win the title. Always come up just a little bit short. I think Tom Aspinall is going to be the new guy. And, whether he wins a title or not, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know. But he's going to be the new guy that we talk about. Like, man, this guy has all the skills to do it. So literally on that, if I have a great card, I'll probably put something pretty decent on Tom Aspinall, but I have zero conviction. Like, do not listen to me at all. Like, you're going to have to just flip a coin and just decide who to throw it on, especially at odds this close. For you value hunters, okay, Curtis Blaydes at plus odds, that's awesome. I think that's a great play. I just feel this air about Tom Aspinall that I felt with McGregor in London so many times. So that is my pick, going Tom Aspinall with zero basis.
I don't hate him, man. You definitely bring up some good points. And I think when we come down to just like the technical aspects of this fight, he has all the technical abilities to exploit what Curtis Blaydes is not good at. And that's hiding that chin and not getting knocked the hell out, right? Again, the only 2 guys to do it, though, have been the biggest hitters that the UFC has ever seen to this point. Tom Aspinall could crack close to that as well, in my opinion, just because of the speed and his footwork and his ability to time those big strikes. But if you can't get those off, and if Curtis Blaydes does, like you said, though, like if he does not get the first 2, maybe even 3 takedowns, it could get a little bit shaky, but he doesn't seem like a guy to me that will quit on his takedown attempts, because one of the things that I think that they're going to be banking on is the potential cardio issues of Tom Aspinall. So maybe those takedown attempts may not work early, but they're eventually going to work. So just stick to them, keep doing what you do, get into that grindhouse that you normally do your best work in. And if you can survive the early onslaught from Tom, you should be able to take over. And another reason to possibly wait until fight day to actually play Curtis Blaydes, if that's the side that you like, the line's probably going to get wider here, right? Tom Aspinall will likely take that hometown money during the day of the fight, the weigh-ins of the fight and all that stuff. So I'd say wait out. You might get plus 130, plus 140 on Curtis Blaydes by fight time. But good God, I don't know if I can just lose more money betting against Tom Aspinall.
It's going to hurt your heart.
I'll probably sit on the sidelines and just say, hey, I predicted Curtis Blaydes to
win.
Look
how
that
smart I
enough,
am.
Right?
Yes. The day after, always.
Yeah, exactly. SMRT.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for hopping on with me. Do you want to plug your Patreon, everything that you're doing? Obviously, if people know us, it's only because of you. They came over from your page. So thank you so much.
Now, Brandon, you guys are absolutely killing it over there. I chat with Santino every now and then as well. I'm very happy that you guys managed to stick with it and just continue to produce content on a weekly basis. Obviously, you guys have gotten a great, a fan base thus far in the little time that you guys have been doing it. And I'm glad. I couldn't be happier. Like, nothing brings me more joy than seeing guys that deserve the spotlight actually get the goddamn spotlight. So very happy for you guys. Myself, just follow me at MMA LOTN on Twitter. You guys know the good stuff there on Instagram as well. I'm trying to up my Instagram game, which is, I'm just not an Instagram guy. I suck so bad at it. I'm definitely better at Twitter. Follow me on one of those 2 spots. And that's pretty much where you can find all my stuff. I'm actually going to do my own podcast right after this as well. So I know we're recording this right now, but I'll be doing my live podcast as soon as I wrap this up. So if you guys are watching this and want to see my own takes, just by myself, hop on over to my channel as well, and you guys will see it there. The MMA LOTcast on YouTube is what you can find all my stuff. Brandon, again, appreciate you sending out the lock signal for me to come in and save the show here. Anytime Santino wants to slack off on the channel, just let me know. I'll be happy.
What? It's been me, the slacker, lately. I've kind of liked it. It's a little vacation.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll tell Santino, if you want to slack, tag me in, coach.
Guys, you guys can go sign up for the Patreon. We have an awesome Discord community. Even with me gone, the picks did okay last week. I think everybody got butchered for the most part. It was a pretty tough card. This week we got Cage Warriors, we got Invicta, we got I don't know if we have we have a million cards this week. Like, we're gonna find some goodies, some bare knuckle.
Invicta, Bellator, ACA, Cage Warriors.
I think I'm doing some illegal stuff with
KSW.
with bare knuckle, but it's on the majors now, on all the legal books, and so we can twist these a little bit, so it's way more fun. So yeah, go sign up for the Patreon, guys. I'm not pushing it like, oh, we're the best of all. We have an awesome Discord. We have amazing plays. We have some really, really smart people. Go sign up there. One person I want to shout out to, this guy pisses me off because I want to do one guy I really like for Contender Series because it's coming up is John Kelly. I love John Kelly. He seems just like a good guy, and he really helped me a lot with Contender Series last year. Just great breakdowns, sharp to the point, knows what he's looking at. But I've been messaging this guy, MMA Wizard, I think is his name. Sean Bitter.
Yep, Sean Bitter.
I'm like, hey, let's jump on a podcast, just you and me, like a solo mission, whether Santino's in town or not. Let's do this Contender Series, 4 fights. Let's do this thing. He's like, okay, I'm a little camera shy. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll lead it. You just tell me what you know. Like, you're very smart, very knowledgeable. I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to chase him down if I have to. Like, he doesn't know me or anything, but go follow his Patreon too, guys. It's $5 a month. He's one guy whose opinion I respect a lot. He knows the regional scene, and that's what I really try to beat down on is the regional scene. There's so much money and big factors and people that are claiming all this stuff about UFC. I like the regional scene, softer markets. This guy knows the stuff. It's $5 a month. I mean, how much is your Patreon? $5 a month. His is $5 a month. Ours is 25. Yeah. So we're, charging an arm and a leg, but $35 a month. You're going to have so many opinions and knowledge and insight. I mean, we could go pick an over under right now and make $35. So stop complaining about price. Go do it if you want to be serious about this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Locke, I love you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right.
Love
Thanks,
you too,
guys.
brother.